The U.S. Marshals is the oldest federal law enforcement agency falling under the Department of Justice. They are a diverse agency with many responsibilities, such as fugitive apprehension and investigation, sporting prisoners, judicial security, prison services, witness security, asset forfeiture, conducting special missions, operations, and programs utilizing task forces. What they do will be highlighted, as well as their capabilities, missions, training, requirements, and special operations conducted to find fugitives. The first 13 U.S. Marshals were appointed by George Washington in 1789 upon the passage of the Judiciary Act. They were instrumental in rebuilding the nation after the Civil War by protecting federal posts in the South. They played a major role in maintaining peace and order during the establishment of the Old West. They were also key figures during the Civil Rights era, enforcing educational integration. The U.S. Marshals are also responsible for conducting the federal census every 10 years. To join the U.S. Marshals isn't easy. For one, you must be a U.S. citizen between the ages of 21 to 36, with a bachelor's degree as well as 1 year of specialized experience, a completed background investigation, and pass the physical exam, which consists of a 1.5-mile run, 1 minute of push-ups, 1 minute of sit-ups, as well as a sit and reach test. The Marshals also consist of employees other than law enforcement, such as accountants, budget analysts, as well as other administrative positions, detention enforcement officers, and aviation officers. However, to become a U.S. Marshal and learn the skills it takes to catch fugitives, potential candidates must go through a U.S. Marshal Service Basic Training Academy with an 18 to 21-week course at a training center located in Georgia. The training includes tactical defense, legal and driver training, courtroom evidence and procedure, court security, officer survival, search and seizure, protective service training, firearm training, physical conditioning, first aid, prisoner search and restraint, computer training, building entry and search, high threat trials, and surveillance. Once the academy is completed, graduates are fully prepared to safely and successfully execute the critical missions and operations of a Deputy U.S. Marshal. The U.S. Marshals apprehend more federal fugitives than any other law enforcement agency. The deputies arrest more than 300 fugitives a day, with an average of 100,000 fugitives caught in a year. The U.S. Marshals are the world's most renowned experts in tracking down those who attempt to run or hide from the law. A major factor for this is the Marshals' unique ability to combine the efforts of federal, state, and local law enforcement to create task forces specially designed to track down these wanted criminals. These task forces form special operations such as FIST, which stands for Fugitive Investigation Strike Teams, that focuses on apprehending fugitives as soon as possible. Other task forces include operations on crimes against children, FBI joint terrorism, and organized crime and drug enforcement. Fugitives are apprehended through various methods, which can range from conducting surveillance in frequented areas to family interviews or traveling state to state, partnering with law enforcement agencies in other regions to catch the fugitive. The United States Marshal Service is also responsible for the confinement, care, and transportation of federal prisoners, which include fugitives. In a typical year, the Marshals receive and housed more than 232,000 federal prisoners in more than 1,800 state and local prisons across the country. The U.S. Marshal Service has the unique authority and ability to grant individuals and entire families new identities and the foundations for new lives. Through witness protection, safety is provided for witnesses whose lives are endangered as a result of testifying against dangerous criminals and their enterprises. 24-hour protection is provided during the trial, and it is often followed by secure relocation, complete with new identities, housing, and employment assistance. Since the program began in 1971, more than 18,000 witnesses and family members have participated during this time. The U.S. Marshals are faced with threats to their mental and physical health on a daily basis. The Law Enforcement Mental Health and Wellness Act of 2017 was enforced to provide employees with support through crisis hotlines, annual health checks, and peer mentorship. Substance abuse and suicide has increased for law enforcement officials compared to civilians in a 2019 study. Although those numbers have increased since the Law Enforcement Mental Health and Wellness Act was signed, advances in technology to prevent injuries, such as implementing robot police officers or utilizing body cameras for ethical purposes, have made a difference in the traditional methods of policing and have the potential to save the lives of law enforcement and civilians.